Welcome back, Careblazer. In today's video, I want to talk about a theme that's been coming up inside of my private care club. It's my course. The members of my course have been talking about something that I think many of you can relate to and might be struggling with, and that is guilt. Specifically, guilt about putting your loved one in a nursing home. So one of my Careblazers in particular was saying how she has not been able to enjoy her life because she feels so filled with guilt that her husband's in a nursing home. She's been trying to go out to lunch and go out to movies with her girlfriends, and she just can't enjoy herself at all because all she can think about is how her husband is in a nursing home and can't enjoy any of this. Enjoying parts of your life, even when other parts aren't going well, it doesn't mean that you love your loved one any less. It doesn't mean that you don't care for your loved one. All it means is that you're adding more suffering, unnecessary suffering, on top of a difficult situation. And it's suffering that your loved one doesn't even realize, by the way. You're doing it to yourself, and it has no good impact on the fact that your loved one is still in the nursing home. It does nothing to change that fact. Being sad all the time, feeling guilt all the time, that does nothing to bring your loved one home. I'm going to use an example that many of you can probably relate to from your childhood, and it's going to drive home the point that I'm trying to make here. When I was growing up, my mom would say, finish all the food on your plate. There are starving people in Africa who have no food. You need to finish all the food on your plate. Right? It was intended, I think, to guilt us into eating food on our plate, to make us feel awful about other people in the world who don't have it as good as we do. And while I completely, my heart hurts for people around the world who don't have the luxuries that we have, who are without food, who are without clean water, right? That's a reality of the world that we live in. That doesn't mean that I can't enjoy my food, that I can't enjoy my clean water, right? Me feeling guilty every time I eat because somebody else doesn't have a meal in front of them, or me feeling guilty that I have clean water to drink when somebody else doesn't have clean water, that does nothing to help the situation. It just causes more and more suffering for myself, for yourself. And that's what you're doing every time you rob yourself from being able to enjoy something pleasurable, from being able to enjoy the movies, a lunch, spending time with your girlfriend. Like, you're robbing yourself of pleasure simply because there's somebody else in the world who does not have that. So enjoying yourself, laughing, having a good time every now and then, that has no direct impact on your loved one being in a nursing home, okay? So just be mindful of the suffering, the thoughts that you're having, the things that you're robbing yourself of enjoying simply because your loved one is not at home with you. You can feel joy and happiness, and it does not mean you love your loved one any less. It doesn't mean that you care for your loved one any less. Just be mindful of what's going on in your mind, because I think many of you might be adding this layer of suffering that is unnecessary. If anything, those high levels of guilt are likely going to creep in when you do visit your loved one with dementia. So when you do go to the nursing home, rather than being able to fully enjoy that visit, spend time with your loved one, you could be so riddled with guilt and feeling awful that actually comes through in the visit. And as we know, your nonverbals, your emotions, right, those have a high likelihood of rubbing off on your loved one, and we don't want that to happen. We want you to feel good about the life that you're living, and when you go to the nursing home, we want you to feel good that you can visit your loved one, right? It doesn't mean that you love the situation. It doesn't mean you're happy about the situation. Of course, nobody would be happy that their loved one has dementia and is in a nursing home. However, don't make it any more difficult on yourself. What I really want you to do, Careblazer, is I want you to be mindful of the thoughts that you're having. Whenever you notice guilt creeping in, I want you to stop and say, what's going through my mind right now? And is that thought helping me? Do these thoughts help me in any way, or are they just keeping me down? Now, if you want to be alerted to the next time I offer my care course, where I go live and do Q&As with my members frequently throughout the course, and you have access to special materials focused on self-care, be sure that you click the link below this video to sign up for the next free care class, where I kind of answer your questions. We do a brief training, and then for anybody who's interested in working with me further, there's an option for you to sign up. So the link is below this video. Careblazer, I'll be back next week with another video. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye.